Happy Thursday, everybody. It is Thursday. It is March 26th, 2020. This is your AEW Dynamite review for March 25th, 2020. Yes, that's right. I'm actually reviewing AEW Dynamite from last night. Now, in case you guys don't know, or maybe some of you do know, what have you, I was originally supposed to attend Dynamite last night at the Prudential Center. That's right, the best arena in the country. That's right, The Rock, the Prudential Center, for Blood and Guts. You know, the big War Games match that they were promoting, the Elite versus the Inner Circle. And I was looking forward to that show, but again, due to circumstances that's beyond everyone's control right now, fuck you coronavirus, fuck you COVID-19, the show got canceled, and instead it's going to take place on July 22nd. So thankfully for me, and for everyone else that purchased tickets for the show, the ticket that we bought originally will be valid for the July 22nd show when they do make their tri-state debut at the Prudential Center, which I look forward to. Listen, my summer is looking to be lit right now. And I know it's kind of a swaggy word to use. I get that. But bear with me here, okay? It's been a long day already. And it's still morning, but again, I have an early morning job where I get up at 3 in the morning. So for me already, my day's been crazy. But I look forward to the summer. Again, I have AEW Dynamite. I do plan on going to SummerSlam in Boston. Spend the weekend over there. Smoke a fat blunt with my brother, OK Fabe. That is the plan. Maybe do a live edition of Around the Point. But again, so much to plan ahead of time right now, but we're going to take things one step at a time, all right? I hope all of you enjoyed Dynamite for what it was worth. Again, they were back at Daly's place. This time, there was no wrestlers as the audience, unlike last week. And for a lot of people, it was kind of a letdown, per se. But here's my thing about it, okay? Because what's going on right now, I think it's really fucked up for anyone to shit on a show, in my humble opinion. I get it, yes, we're fans, we have a right to an opinion, that's fine. But if you're going to sit there and shit on a show, considering what's going on right now, all right, around the world, damn, you're fucked up. Just saying. It's my opinion, it is what it is. Okay, if you liked the show, that being Dynamite, let me know. If you hated it, give me your thoughts. Follow me on Twitter at HeelSteven. A Dynamite that saw the confrontation of broken Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho. Kenny Omega defending the AAA Mega Championship against Sammy Guevara. A brawl between Jake Hager and Jon Moxley. And so many other stuff. And apparently Brody Lee's apparently pickiness of not wanting people to eat before him, or people people having to eat once he's done with his meal, and not wanting people to sneeze. Very Vince McMahon-ish, if you will. But that's, again, around the point. We're going to get into all that here. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button. Give the video a big old thumbs up. Why the fuck not? And share it through social media. All right? So let's get into this whole thing, shall we? So the show kicked off with Tony Schiavone and Kenny Omega on commentary. Again, there was no Excalibur. There was no Jim Ross. There was no Taz. Again, they were all at home. They're quarantining right now. They're trying to be safe, and I get that. Matter of fact, a lot of people on the roster were not even there. They're all at home. Joey Janela did a live stream on Instagram from his house, or in Jersey, something like that. So again, it's cool to know that they're looking out for their talent, for the safety. And even that, like, again, I know I'm going off the rail here a little bit, but I gotta commend AEW and as well as WWE for, despite all the shit that's going on right now at a tough time, they're putting on shows. Listen, it'll be easy for both companies right now to say, you know what? Fuck all this shit. We're gonna cancel everything until further notice. But no, they're still, despite under the situation that they're in, with what they have, they're making it work. So my hat's off to both companies for that. All right. The show kicked off with Cody versus Jimmy Havoc. The match overall, it was a solid way to kick off the show. Good back and forth from both guys here. Jimmy Havoc was working on Cody's leg, his arm, very mat-based, if you will, to start off the match. Cody did this thing that he usually does where he gets out of the ring and he goes all the way to the back and then he runs and does a clothesline to the wrestler into the ring. Jimmy Havoc hit an acid rainmaker for a near fall, to which Cody then hit 2 crossroads for the 1, 2, 3. So Cody Rhodes wins. Cody wins like I thought he would have won. And it's funny because you had Brandy Rhodes on comment as the ring announcer for the show, which again, she hasn't missed a step. Reminded me of her days in WWE when she was Eden Styles. Remember those? Remember those days, guys? When she was the ring announcer for those days. Remember that? Wasn't bad at all. So then on the Tron, Jake Roberts appears, right? And he said that they didn't sign Lance Archer immediately because they're afraid of him, right? And Jake just wants Cody to agree to a match with Lance Archer, right? This sends us to our first commercial break, right? And I thought overall, listen, it was very, very creepy knowing Jake Roberts, how he is and the style of the promo. The guy, after all these years, hasn't missed a fucking beat. Amazing. Fucking amazing. Especially at the end, at the end, he was like, trust me. I thought that was awesome. All right. Again, basically here again, Jake Roberts wants Lance Archer to have a match with Cody. That's all they want. A match with Cody. They're not asking for titles. They're not asking for money. They just want a match. Lance Archer versus Cody. Which honestly, for Cody Rhodes, for this matter, again, he's not challenging for the world title. I don't see why not. I mean, again, they can have a good match. I don't see this being a bad match at all. It's something for, again, Lance Archer to do. Something for Cody to do as well. And honestly, again, I see this having a series of matches. And I would not be surprised if Lance gets the first win and then Cody gets a win back. We'll see. But again, I don't mind it at all. I really don't mind it. For what it's worth, I do not mind this at all. After commercial break, Cody's like, you know what? He addressed the whole Jake Roberts promo, saying that he came across as bitter, right? Cody would also say that he doesn't want to come across as a whiny babyface, but if Lance Archer wants to start, Lance Archer doesn't start with him, right? Cody would then say Lance Archer can debut next week if he wants to. So likely to happen, we might get the match next week, or if not, a confrontation of some sort. But why the fuck not? Awesome. For what it's worth. From there, we get the second match of the night. We get Darby Allin, which they had a video package with him. I guess in a way, burning a table with the face of the members of the Inner Circle. Remember, the Inner Circle did attack him a while ago. They took him out. So he's putting all these faces and stuff of Jericho, of Hager, Santana and Ortiz, I think also Sammy Guevara, and he burnt it on a table. Again, here we had Darby Allin versus Kip Sabian. Yeah, Penelope before at ringside. Cody was on commentary for this, and one thing that I thought was really kind of cool and weird in a way, Cody started referencing to a lot of the old school names from yesteryear. He referenced Darby Allin as a young version of Sting. I get where with the blonde hair and the face paint, but that's basically it. But as far as persona-wise and charisma, nah. That's as far as it gets. Just the face paint and the hair. That's with me at least, right? He referenced that Penelope Ford is a modern day baby doll. I guess blonde hair. Both were baby doll was attractive in her days, if you will. Penelope Ford is beautiful as all hell. That's fine. The match, honestly, again, it was a good back and forth match. Didn't really go that long either. What I liked about this, in some weird way, okay, we're showcasing what's going to be the future of AEW and both talents. Granted, for a fact these two are locked into a long-term deal. I would say 2-3 years, right? And I want to see where these two guys go a year from now or two, right? Who wins the title or not. But again, this is a program for the future as well. To showcase, hey, this is the future of AEW. This is why you should watch AEW. Because again, we do have a lot of the former WWE guys right? But at the same time, we also have future stars, if you will, like an MJF, like a Jungle Boy, hell, even Luchasaurus, Kip Sabian, Joey Janela, Darby Allin, right? Santana and Ortiz, if you want to throw them in there as well. Sammy Guevara, if I didn't mention them already, but I'll throw them in there again. Hell, even Adam Page and stuff like that. But again, for what it's worth, it was cool. Darby Allin did get the win, though, at the end. He did get the win with the Last Supper. That's what he's calling, but it's actually a Gibson lock. But he's calling it the Last Supper. And there was that. Awesome. We then had Jake Hager versus Chico Adams. This was literally a squash match. A complete, utter squash match. Jake Hager locks in the arm triangle choke, and Chico just goes to sleep. Tap out right there, over with. After this, you had the AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley, come out, and he's brawling with Jake Hager. He does hit a paradigm shift to it. Hager counters it to an ankle lock, but Moxley escapes, and he throws Hager out of the ring, and you see Hager leaving. He's leaving. He's not having it. And it's funny because Cody on commentary refers to the AEW World Championship as Big Platinum, which is clever. You think about this, right? WCW, they had the Big Gold, right? And WWE, the WWF title, the WWE title in the late 90s in the Attitude Era was the Big Eagle, right? So why not the Big Platinum? I'm all for it. Why the fuck not? The Big Platinum. I like it. I love the name. Why the fuck not? But then you have here Jon Moxley in the back cutting a promo saying that he's clear to compete, and he shows up whenever the hell he wants. Moxley basically challenged Jake Hager to an AEW championship match, saying that he would leave him carted out on a stretcher or he would die trying. Anything about it, too. Remember, a while ago, a couple weeks ago, if you will, the Inner Circle put Jon Moxley through a table. So Jon Moxley here wants revenge on every member of the Inner Circle, starting off with Jake Hager. And you think about it right now, Jake Hager's undefeated. Right? He's undefeated. He's beating everybody with the referee stoppage, right? So in theory, you could definitely say that, hey, he should be next in line or should be challenging for the championship, right? Granted, I know he has to beat anyone that's in the top, that's in the top notch, like a Kenny Omega or a Cody or Jericho, because again, Jericho and Hager are in the Inner Circle. But on paper, hey, he's undefeated. He's an MMA fight. He's a badass, right? He's basically their Brock Lesnar, right? So why not? Hey, a first title defense, an easy win for Moxley. Why the fuck not? Once they're back in an arena with the crowd, of course. But we'll see how that goes too. I don't see a problem with this at all. Moxley and Jake Hager. Guys, give me your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys want to see that, let me fucking know, okay? After this, we had Brody Lee, who is the Exalted One. He's sitting at a steakhouse. He's sitting down eating dinner, right? Eating steak. He's cutting the steak up with his fork and his knife. I think he's doing like little cubes, it looked like. Fine. It is what it is. Brother, how you eat your steak is the way you want to eat it. Just drink it with red wine and we'll be okay, all right, bro? And he has their Silver and Reynolds, right? He had them sitting there. After watching Brody Lee eat a steak, he doesn't want either of them to eat until Brody Lee finishes eating, right? Just sit there. Don't do anything. And I guess, I want to say with Seaver, I think he already ate some of his food, and he kicked him out. Brody Lee kicked him out, and then Reynolds had to sit there. And so, again, Brody Lee finished eating his meal so that he could eat. But instead, Reynolds sneezed, and Brody Lee threw him out. And yes, it felt very Vince McMahon-ish, like he was doing a parody of Vince. I get that. Where, again, Vince hates the sneezes. He hates sneezing and shit, right? He's very picky. And yes, it was funny, or the fuck you want. But I'll just say this too, and I know I said I wasn't going to nitpick or, anything, but let's be real about it. And this goes to anyone that wasn't WWE and they felt that they weren't utilized the right way and now they're in a different company, move on. That's my advice. And again, I get it. I am a nobody. I am a no one. I'm just a fat YouTuber talking to a fucking camera to you guys, and hopefully you dorks are listening to me. But if I could just say one thing, bruh, move the fuck on. We get it. You were not utilized right. Just move the fuck on. It doesn't make you look cool. It just makes you come off as bitter as fuck. And again, this is not the first time that we've seen this. We've seen this in numerous promotions where a former WWE guy left the promotion to go on to a new promotion, and then they feel bitter. They'll take a jab here and there. Cody's done it before, and so many others. And again, it just comes off as bitter, comes off as dorky, comes off as annoying. But yes, I get it where it's funny here and there. But if I can just say that, I'll just say it, okay? To which, after that, after eating a steak, the Exalted One had a match. That's right. Brody Lee went up against QT Marshall, and the Exalted One with the rolling lariat. He did use a setup for Sister Abigail, of course. It was a quick little match. Didn't really go long either. Squash. It's crazy. Think about this, right? You eat a steak, you're full, right? In theory, you are full. And then to go on to the ring and wrestle, it's kind of crazy. I will say that right now. One thing I'll say too, I didn't mention is either, yes, there was no crowd. However, they had some of the wrestlers sitting in the back watching the match. It looked like they were placing bets. So like you saw the reaction to the matches and stuff like that. I thought it was cool. Awesome. Very clever. A good way to utilize the guys and the women, what have you. You had Billy Gunn, Austin Gunn. You had Dasha. I'm going to call her Dasha Fuentes. I know that's not her name anymore, but that's how I know her as. You had Kip Sabian. I think also, I think it was them. And Sean Spears. Forgot about him. Watching the matches and what have you. And like they were placing bet. I know Jericho was there early on in the opening match. Fine as well. But again, I thought it was very cool. Awesome. Good way to utilize the talent that's there. I was all for it. And then after this, we saw Matt Hardy's drone, Vanguard 1. Who flew to Rancho Cucamonga to spy on Nick Jackson's recovery from injury. Remember, Nick Jackson was taken out by the Inner Circle, so to check up on him and stuff like that. We then had, if I'm looking at this correctly, we had the AAA Mega Campeon Championship between Kenny Omega defending the title versus Sammy Guevara. I thought this was a good match. Good back and forth. One thing I'll say too, from the whole Inner Circle, the one guy that I'm happy for is Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara is someone who I feel like is definitely benefiting from being in that group. He's like a sponge that you're just giving all this knowledge to. And he's taking it and he's just observing this shit and he's making it work. It's funny because he had like these little pop-up, like little drawings, if you will, that were sitting in chairs, right? And one of them, I guess, was Cody. One of them was the guy from Star Trek. And I guess what was Brandy Rhodes. Which is funny because during the match, you see him making out with the Brandy Rhodes drawing. And Brandy is giving this look on her face like, what the fuck is this motherfucker doing? You had Cody on commentary as well, also throughout the match, throughout the show, by the way, right? And again, this is a very good back and forth. Remember, Kenny Omega had a hand injury, right? So Sammy was working on the hand, on the arm. Again, just doing his stuff. And again, just got some good near falls. And again, think about this, right? Here's Sammy Guevara a year ago, signed to AEW, talk about how you're going to do all these stuff, right? And everyone laughed at him like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, right, kid. And now here he is a year later, wrestling Kenny Omega. Granted, Kenny Omega is not the same Kenny Omega from yesteryear, from last year or 2 years ago. Let's get that clear right now, okay? He's one half of the AAA tag team. He's one half of the AEW tag team champions. He's also the AAA Mega Campeon champion. And again, just a good match, right? Good back and forth match. Kenny eventually won with the V-trigger, then the one-winged angel for the 1, 2, 3. But again, just a good back and forth match. It gave this good time. Honestly, if there's one thing that I would have done differently with the show. And again, guys, chime in on this one. Give me your thoughts. I would have flipped this match with the ending of the show. To me. And again, I get it, that's a AAA title. It's not an AEW title, but again, they do have a working relationship. In some regard, right? It's fine. But to me, it would have closed the show with Kenny Omega versus Sammy Guevara. That's just me, okay? And then we had the final segment of the show. Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy, broken Matt Hardy, confronting one another. The face-off in the ring. Jericho's in the ring. He had the Britney Spears microphone on his earpiece, right? And he's calling out Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy, right? Before this, right? He offered his drone. He offered Vanguard 1 a spot in the inner circle. He's like talking about how he doesn't like Vanguard 1. He's a piece of shit. But he wants to offer him a spot in the inner circle. Offering him all these perks, all the Instagram models, taking photos, and a lot of the beach drones he could take. And again, just putting over Vanguard 1, persuading a drone to join the inner circle. And Jericho made it work. Jericho, for what it's worth, made this shit work. I started laughing my ass off, right? Hardy then appeared. By the way, the drone refused and flew away. By the way, Matt Hardy then appeared on the top of the arena and then badly teleported his way to the ring. Like, you can tell this was badly edited, all right? By every means, this was terribly edited, but they made it work. So as far as me being a wrestling fan watching this at a wrestling show, fucking awesome. Good effort. For real. But yeah, it was very badly done. I'll say that right now, okay? And Jericho's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then Matt's in the ring, who he mentioned that he is possessed by Damascus and over 3,000 years old. He said that he won't let the inner circle destroy the paradise of all elite wrestling. Jericho tried to get him to join the inner circle, and Hardy called him truly a hole of an ass. He called him also the maker of pain at the beginning. Hardy insisted that that the building was full of essence, even though it was empty. There was no one there, but there was a building full of essence, like Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe, and Martin Luther King Jr., who had a dream. But Jericho can't see them because he doesn't believe. He was also betrayed by the real Judas. And all of this led to, again, Matt Hardy saying, just like you, I can do magic tricks as well. Abracadabra. And Sammy Guevara attacked Hardy from behind. But Kenny Omega and Cody, who were on commentary, they made the save with steel chairs. Hardy then haunted Jericho and Guevara with fire from the stage. So if you remember back in 2005 when Kane was going to marry Lita on Raw and Hardy came out for the save and he was trying to rescue Lita, but they couldn't escape because the flames of Kane were blocking the exit and shit. So Hardy was doing that almost with his hand. Like he was doing this, right? And the pyro would go up with flames and shit. Again, I get where people will crap on it. Oh, it's very hokey, very carny bullshit for what it's worth. But again, because of the circumstances that was going on right now, I got to give them credit where credit's due. They made it work. I laughed. I chuckled at moments. I'm not going to lie here. But at the same time, if I could just switch something around, I would have put that before the world title, before the AAA Mega Championship match. That's just me, of course. Okay? But overall, I thought Dynamite, overall as a show, was pretty solid, pretty entertaining for what it was worth. Again, hats off to both WWE and AEW for putting on shows throughout this whole thing that we're all going through right now. And again, I hope everyone is safe. Hope all of you are turning the page and washing your hands and all that stuff. I'll be back likely tomorrow for an NXT review because I have not watched NXT yet, but I did hear about the ending. TikTok, motherfuckers. And likely this weekend on Around the Point, live again at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be giving my thoughts on part 2 of Dark Side of the Ring. I'll also be giving my predictions, likely, for WrestleMania and all that stuff. All right? So again, guys, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. And as always, guys, hate, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. I'm Steve, and this has been Around the Point.